to tell us something. They have figured out the formula for chaos.
When the clock strikes 8:30, babe, time to head for Chris's house.
Hey!
Will the song make it to the next round?
Oh no.
Pot of Thunder. Let's pot tonight. Come on, baby, let's pot tonight.
Woo! Doc Gibbs and the Emerald Live Band are cooking tonight. Yes, indeed. Welcome to Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting, brought to you by Blue Microphones. They look great. They sound even better, and you know who I am.
So Andy, spin the song. It just may be sweet surrenders. And if it don't, then it won't see the next round. The song, kick it hard 3 times. Slipknot song, never getting off the ground.
Woo! Nick's getting way up there. Nick, I didn't know you could get that high.
Got high.
Nick got high.
Helium.
Way up there. That's right. It's your buddy Andy, America's little brother. And as always, there's this man. He comes here every week, and every week he does this for you. I hope I can get out of the way. If you're watching the video, he's going to dance. Oh my gosh, he just used a Polish mountain climbing implement to hook our guest around the hips there. That's right, polka dancing his way across the podcast studio. Nick Polak has entered the program. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And directly to Nick's left, you want him, we got him.
Can have it every day, yeah. I can have it. Get out of my way, yeah. Fuck you.
Yes, put your hands together for the breakout star of the podcast medium. That is Chris L. We are Pot of Thunder, and as promised, we have a guest today. Oh. He throws the bowling ball that fast.
Yeah, that's how he gets all those 300 games.
You don't even let the pins. You just go to the next lane and just keep going down the line.
Just keep going.
Wow.
Not this year.
Tom Kotel's in the house, as promised, as the second year tradition here for the final week of September. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you.
When's the last time you were here, Tom?
2 months ago. 2.5 months ago?
2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Something like that.
That's good. We like you here. We like you here more often than not.
And he's here for the final week of what, did you say?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is September.
How did it happen already? I feel like we were just getting ready to start September, and now it's already over. The fourth and final week of September. What's today's date? The 25th or something. So we just barely missed having 5 Mondays in September. Son of a bee.
We got 5 Mondays in Spooktober, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Do we really?
We do. Isn't that right, Nick?
How are we going to do that? We can barely get 3 for that month. We have to do 5.
I got 2. I got my 2 lined up.
You look perplexed over there, Nick.
I haven't checked the calendar.
No, it's 5.
A month of pain coming your way.
And nonsense. It's all on how you look at it.
I mean, isn't that sort of the description of what the month is, of weird or creepy or eerie or uncomfortable?
Yeah.
So that's coming. That's next month. But we have horny business to take care of this week.
We do.
And
the horniest of them all, traditionally, it should be, which is the final week of September. The song is by Tom Jones himself. So no one should have an issue with this song. I can't imagine anything in the catalog of Tom Jones causing any controversy.
No.
But you never know. I remain a little perplexed at the lukewarm response to my pick for this month. But so yeah, you never know. But the onus is on the other Tom Kotul, to select the song.
Wow. Do you think you're up for it, Tom?
I'm hoping I am.
Yeah.
It was a little it was a tough choice, but
Now you said you had something picked and you switched gears somewhat recently.
I did. Yeah. I was juggling about 4 or 5 songs at a point in time, maybe a few weeks ago, and started going through again this week and was listening to some other stuff, and some titles popped up, and I'm like, man, those sound interesting, and yeah, it got me over. So
Okay.
I made the switch.
So are you telling me the song that we're going to be hearing in a few minutes is one that you'd never heard before, and you chose it based on the title?
Yeah. Well, I listened to it. I did listen to it.
But before
No,
weren't familiar.
I wasn't familiar with it.
Okay.
We'll get into it once we reveal it, I guess.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I'm also hungry. I had a long day. Burned off some calories schooling some 6-year-olds on the soccer field.
Wow.
So I need to eat, and I see that there's foil over there.
You want me to grab it, Nick?
Someone hit me with
We
something.
have to split it up.
Who wants to eat dainties? Who wants to eat baked treats with me?
Yes. I want to eat dainties.
It's a honk.
Any instructions, Nick?
That's a tall piece of
It's 3
whatever.
pieces on there.
It's got some weight to it, too.
Well, Nick hasn't ever
Good Christ.
my God.
Nick's never brought anything that didn't have weight to it.
Jesus.
That's a requirement.
Wow.
Oh dear, I don't know if I could finish one of those, Nick.
No,
My stomach's very small.
I cut a smaller one
Okay, for
just
me.
in case.
I'm
Yeah.
a little
Do you
guy.
have any utensils here? Or do I need to run upstairs?
I didn't bring any utensils.
I say we just put our faces in
Yeah.
it and eat it like
Motorboat it.
Like-
That's right. Red bone
farm
it, if you
animals.
will.
Could
Yeah.
probably grab it from the bottom and eat it.
Eat it
with your
from
hands.
Eat it from the back. What are you
That's
suggesting,
not a
Nick?
good idea.
Take a grab of that and see what you think. I can run upstairs and get some things if I need to.
What kind of eating perversions are you suggesting?
I say we need some forks.
Tom, smell it. Tell me what you smell.
Loveliness.
That's it? That's the only ingredient?
That's it. That's the only spice I
Okay.
get. I think a hint of celery too.
So, Nick, is the recipe of whatever this tall treat is that looks like a similar to like a deep dish pizza size?
I guess it. Yeah.
Is there anything in the recipe that could potentially coincide with this week's song, even though you don't know exactly what it is, but you knew it was Tom Jones?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
It
Tell us.
can. Well,
It can. Does it just depend?
well,
Is it
I
just
mean,
like if a stray pube fell in there, then maybe?
No, it's,
I hope that's not the
it's
case.
if well, should I say what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a cinnamon bun cheesecake.
Oh dear.
So it's 2 layers. It's like a cinnamon cake that you bake for a while, and then you take it out and put the cheesecake layer on top of it.
Wow.
Oh dear.
So
So it's a cake.
Do we have a calorie count on this?
No. It's visual.
This is when you just
You look at
throw it to
yourself
the wind.
before, and then you look at yourself after.
no, you just don't look at yourself at all.
Are you counting?
Maybe in a week.
Are you counting points over there, Tom?
No, I'm just curious.
Okay, I was just curious.
I'm just
too.
curious.
Maybe I'm curious. Maybe we can all be curious together.
That'd be about what 75 Weight Watchers points.
Yeah, it'd be like a week. Chris, it's a cinnamon bun cheesecake. So there's cinnamon bun cake on the bottom layer, and the top layer is cheesecake. I'll be damned. Yeah, so we have some serious eating to do. How are you potentially going to connect this to Tom Jones?
Oh,
Because he has sweet cinnamon buns on his back end.
and the word cheesecake having connotations at times.
Does it?
Yeah, it's been used.
Was it ass?
Didn't James
Ass meat?
Didn't James Brown use cheesecake
I don't know about that.
in Mother Popcorn?
I don't know nothing about that. Educate me, Nick.
Tom knows about that song.
What did he say?
Mother Popcorn. He called it cheesecake, right? Doesn't he yell out cheesecake in that song?
Well, what does it mean? Is it butt cheeks?
Well, it's a pose, right? With crossing of the legs.
Oh, I don't know anything about
I believe
this.
so.
I know nothing of what you're speaking of. Cheese. What does it mean though? Like you have to pee your pants or something?
No, it's just a pose that a woman would if
Crisscross
someone,
applesauce kind
if
of
someone
thing?
no, not well.
What are we talking about? Cheesecake.
A cheesecake pose, like a pin-up pose kind of a thing, like in the old, like an old
like this?
from years and years ago.
Like with men, it's beefcake. With women, it's cheesecake.
I had no idea.
I didn't know.
You've never heard that before?
Never. I don't know what it means. You guys just keep saying, "Oh, it's like a woman posing."
That's
What
like,
the hell does it
you know,
mean?
Just
I don't know why it's called
sultry,
that.
You know,
Just
pin
think
up.
Bo Derek.
Well, just
There you go.
clothed versions of a Playboy centerfold, something like that, pin-up style. Cheesecake, yeah.
I don't.
I've never heard.
I don't know why it's
Oh
called
yeah,
that.
yeah, box of nerds. You know what I'm talking about? Those pictures
Are you
with the
trying,
guys
are you
with
trying
the.
to figure out why it's called
But
cheesecake?
yes,
I don't.
no, you know the race car drivers box of nerds. That's what it sounds like to me right now. What you're saying, it
have
means
no
nothing.
idea.
You're just saying words. I'm leaving.
That's just what they called it.
Okay, it's like a guilty pleasure, maybe. That's the closest I can.
Why
come
are
up
you
with.
I don't
overthinking
know.
this?
I just never heard it before, and I don't understand what it means. It's just
mean-
a food. Like pin up, you pin it up. Okay, cool. Cheesecake. Okay.
Yeah, you eat it.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on,
Hey,
Andrew.
hey, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Teach me, Tom. Teach me. All right. So we got this shit in front of us.
Well, all right, hold on a minute. Why are pin-ups called cheesecake?
Okay.
The term cheesecake also started being used synonymously with pin-up. It originated in the 1930s as a female alternative for the term beefcake.
Oh, my- really?
Which refers to attractive photographs of men.
Where were we living, Andy?
In the 30s?
I mean, no, I mean we've never
heard of it.
Heard of
Yeah,
it. No.
never heard of it. Oh well, Chris was right with his
Yeah.
guess. It was accurate.
Well, I wasn't guessing. I knew that information.
Oh, I thought you were guessing.
I said the male equivalent is beefcake, and that's a fact.
Well, apparently it makes sense now. That's all I needed.
Nick, was this your first go at making this cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the recipe wanted it to be in there longer than it needed to be, which I think is why it's got that brownish thing going on around the edges.
Okay.
But
Andy, you're hungry? You want this bigger piece? I got a fucking huge piece over here.
Sure.
Did you see mine?
Trade me.
Andy, I thought your stomach was small.
Well, I'm just going to leave half
Well,
of it.
he proclaimed himself as being famished, so I'd rather...
Thank you.
That's a huge effing piece that I just handed over there.
That's huge. That's a big honker of a piece. I'm going to get into that. So, let's get to business here, and then we'll start eating on the air, because that's what everybody likes when we chew, especially peanut brittle with sauerkraut in it.
That was a big hit.
On that note, really quick, today I was working with some guys old friends of mine, and this guy's like, I don't like sauerkraut. I don't eat that. And I said, my brother just made some peanut brittle with sauerkraut in it. And he said, did you kick him in the balls? And I said, no, I didn't. He's like, well, kick him in the balls
Kick
for
him in
me.
the-
So I have to kick you in the balls later.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Figuratively, I guess. I'm not going to kick you in the balls.
Did you happen to mention that it was candied?
Yes, I explained
sauerkraut?
it. Yeah, I did. I explained it. So there you go, Nick. That's the reaction of people in the outside world to your culinary delights.
Well, they never tried it.
That's true. They don't know what they're missing. All right, so Tom, are you ready to reveal this week's song? Do you have the information in front of you or in your mind?
I do.
Okay.
I am ready.
All right, well, let's...
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's reveal. Let's turn the microphone over to Chris Jericho.
All right, Harold. This one's called
Puppet Man.
Off of
Tom Jones sings She's a Lady.
by the band.
Tom Jones.
So the album is Tom Jones Sings She's a Lady. I
Yeah.
love when there's a title like that.
Yeah. So
great
it's
stuff.
Puppet Man?
Puppet Man.
Not the young New Mexican puppeteer, but Puppet Man.
Puppet Man.
Okay.
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about?
That's one of his songs, too.
What?
Yeah, the young New Mexican puppeteer.
It's a great title.
That's why I was curious if that's what that is.
That's hard to...
Was that your guess?
No.
It's hard to shake your hips to that.
Well, it has a groove to it, believe it or not.
Who is this guy? Tom, I don't have my glasses on. Tom, can you read this last name of someone who covered Puppet Man?
Jay.
All right. Sit down.
You're setting me up.
Yeah, I'm not reading that word. Yeah, okay. So we got 11 songs on this album. What year we got here? 1971.
71?
Yeah. So She's a Lady was the leading track, obviously. But Puppet Man, track 7, right in the middle, but maybe side 2.
Neil Sedaka.
It's a Neil Sedaka joint.
I don't know Puppet Man.
I've never heard it.
No.
Have
Good.
you heard of it?
I feel good. I feel
No.
good. It did chart. I think it charted in the top 30. I think on the adult and contemporary charts.
31.
After I looked it up, 31.
31.
24 on the Hot 100.
Ooh.
There's so many charts.
Yeah.
What counts? Is there just one that's like the one?
It's probably the Hot 100, right?
Is it?
I think.
One time at a job of mine, I worked for this idiot dickhead, and he made me try to figure out some statistics on charts. And that's when I realized, oh my God, there's like 50 charts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these bands all had these number ones. Like, well, of what? You know, it's like number one East Indian pop single, club, night. They don't make, it's just combinations of words. So I guess it all counts though. You could just say number one hit, right? Doesn't matter.
If it's on a chart, sure, why not?
Yeah.
This was on the West German charts.
See? It's,
No word about East Germany.
yeah, they had different kind of charts. So 1971, huh? When did Tom Jones break? 63 or something?
Maybe
60,
maybe around then, yeah.
61, 62. Okay, so he's quite a bit into his career here, a decade in probably, roughly.
Yeah, moving into a new decade, just like every other artist. So,
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Looking at this album, we've got She's a Lady, Do What You Gotta Do, In Dreams. Let's see. Till I Can't Take It Anymore. I like that. It's Up to the Woman. Okay.
One of my other songs that was in the running is on this album too.
Is it I Ain't No One Night Only Love Maker?
It might be. Who knows?
That's a good title. Okay. So Puppet Man. All right.
So what drove your decision here, Tom?
Yeah.
Anything in particular, or you want to wait till we get into the song?
Oh, it was the lyrics. Oh, it was the lyrics. I figured people can run with this. I figured there can be some good banter this week on the social medias and the what do you call them? The Cards Against Humanity, the pot. I think you can get some good things out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that go into choosing a song for this podcast. It's not just the song.
Yeah, that's true. You have to think about what it, kind of episode it could potentially turn into, right?
You don't necessarily have to think that, but it helps.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to, but
It's in the back. It's in the back of my mind
yeah.
when I was making the decision.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we take a quick commercial break? We'll be right back with Puppet Man by Tom Jones. Oh, yeah. It has that Rubber Band Man kind of vibe to it so far. I think I know where it's going. We'll see. Thematically.
Where do you think it's going?
Well, we'll see. I'll tell you if I'm right.
Baby, baby, you know it's true. I'm a puppet just for you. I do any little thing you say. I wouldn't have it any other way. take my heart and take my soul. I'm giving you complete control. If you wanna see me do my thing, baby, pull my string now.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we went there right away. First verse, do my thing, pull my string. So I was thinking of that song, I'm Your Puppet, which I don't know if that...
Never heard of it. Who sings that?
Was it like Bobby Purify or Purify or something?
Purifoy?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. You'd know it if you heard it. It's like, I'm going to guess it would be, I don't know if it's Motown. It's like 60s. But same theme, you know.
Do what you want. Puppet-themed songs coming out around this time of music history.
Yeah.
Puppets were a big thing back then.
There's a lot
ventriloquist dummies and the like. That's something that's just gone completely. It's gone from entertainment.
That's good. True.
You don't like him, Tom?
No.
Never did?
No. Does anybody like that Jeff Dunham that's around? Like the only one that like comes around. And
Is he the one guy who does ventriloquism?
Yeah. I can't stand him. My parents love him.
Do they?
It's like, you just went to pay $100 to go see this guy?
Shit. I remember he was on Comedy Central all the time years ago, 10, 15 years ago, when I watched a lot more TV, and it didn't do anything for me. I always turned it off. Wasn't my thing. I don't know if it was his humor or if it was the ventriloquist dummies themselves, but yeah, I was not into it. Nick was into that. Nick had a ventriloquist dummy when he was a child.
I still have it.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you ever learn to throw your voice?
Not really throw my voice, but some of the tricks of speaking without moving your lips. Yeah, I kind of understood them, but I don't know how good I was.
Did this puppet have a name?
It was just the classic Charlie McCarthy.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing? I was saying all of that. Wasn't that cool?
Oh.
Yeah.
That was me.
Not bad.
Yeah, see? Nick and I had a two-man act going back then.
It was great.
Yeah.
So musically, I was getting some really strong, almost completely derivative vibes from Son of a Preacher Man off that. Had like that exact same transition sort of in the mid-verse that Son of a Preacher Man has.
Was that before this?
It had.
It had to be.
Was it?
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Let me look it up.
All right.
Hold it. I'm looking up information, jackass. Stuff your face and sit still.
Let's sit in silence.
It was a few years before.
Yeah, two years before. So, and a huge hit for Dusty Springfield. So I think there was some. Let's capitalize on that. But
it was definitely fresh in the minds of.
To
everyone.
The point where it was almost the exact chord progressions and tempo. So, if you're going to...
good call.
If you're going to cop a formula, might as well make it a winning one. But, definitely the vibes of the soul music of the times. Sort of that Stax Volt sound, if you will. But yeah, right at the end, the pull my string, obviously, could be a euphemism for a number of things. Is that something that tipped your decision, Tom?
That was a big one right there. Yeah, pull my string, baby. Yeah, it was.
If you want to see me do my thing, baby, pull my string.
Mm-hmm. So that's
yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, Marionette has those strings, but also Nick's Charlie McCarthy puppet. You didn't put your hand up it and do like you pulled a string on the back and it moved its mouth open. So it could go either way. What do you think it is? Is that a correct ventriloquist puppet where you has a string on it, or was it like a kid's toy?
It's a cheaper one.
The proper ventriloquist equipment, you would put your hand all the way up in it.
Okay.
And then pull the string.
Then masturbate the dummy.
Yeah.
Or on it.
Baby, baby, I'm your sweet cat. I'm just your personal marionette. Wind me up and let me go. Don't you know I'm a one-man show? Raise your finger and I'll perform. I crack a jack till the crack of dawn. Now if you wanna see me do.
Hold on a minute. What did we miss there? What did he say to do with a finger?
Raise your finger and I'll perform. I'll
Okay.
crack a jack till the crack of dawn.
Whoa. I like it.
Those are some edgy lyrics for the time.
Yeah. Never heard that phrase before, but I get it.
Do you think
Get
you can
it?
weave it into your vocabulary these days?
I can crack a jack every now and again.
Resonating
I
with
can't.
you. You're going to drop that on your younger co-workers and OnlyFans?
It's not going to work. Just going to look at me like I'm an idiot.
Well, pretty much they already do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, next time they give you an assignment, it's like, yeah, I'll crack a jack on that. Just see if there's any response at all. There probably won't.
Do you have anything to lose?
No.
No.
I never
Drop it.
do,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter.
See, Andy's this is like this transitional phase in life that I've been in for a while where he's the oldest one around, and it's pretty eye-opening.
It's very strange and uncomfortable to put yourself in the other seat finally at some point.
I mean, how are you, Tom and Nick, how are you guys at your workplaces? Kind of in the middle age-wise, or what's the deal?
I'm pretty much in the middle. Yeah, but when the new young people come in, it's noticeable that we're miles apart from reality.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Nick, what about you?
About in the middle, I'd say, and it usually doesn't get to the point where the differences come out. At least where I'm at.
Lucky.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a totally different world hearing about people. Some of the things that they'll say in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little jarring to hear.
Yeah. I hear you. It's an odd thing, but
it's weird that younger people are doing that.
That younger people exist and they're professionals.
That they're not as.
Oh well.
That they're.
But look at people. Okay, you've told us a lot of stories about people who would be like in the boomer generation, and they were not very professional at all with the things that they would say.
True.
So I don't think it's any different. It's just a different sense of humor.
Well,
But
it's also
it could
just
be.
people in general. Certain people are going to have social skills. Certain people are going to have situational awareness, and other people are fucking morons who have neither.
That's true.
And
That's the category I fall into.
Gets them into trouble. But you could drop crack a jack in a conversation, and it'll just go right over their heads. Nobody will even ask you what it means.
Either that, or they'll send a private message to each other. Did you hear this idiot just said?
Yeah.
Well, you're getting
Old
called.
bastard just said crack at you.
You're getting called into HR.
Yeah.
Do my thing, but baby, pull my string. Yeah.
So you could kind of say those yeah-hus are what Nick was referring to last week. Not quite as extreme, of course, but with the Sheik of Araby, when he said there's some Tom Jones-esque outbursts with like, he said yeah a bunch of times and huh and weird noises.
There's a certain song that's would be on a greatest hits, Tom Jones greatest hits compilation, where he makes some pretty outrageous sounds.
What song is that?
I don't know if I should say no, because it could come into play another time.
Okay.
I can.
I just stumbled upon a little tidbit here that this song was originally recorded by Neil Sedaka on his 1969 Working on a Groovy Thing LP, so the same year that Son of a Preacher Man came out. The first hit version was by The Fifth Dimension in 1970. The following year, it was also a hit for Tom Jones. So I'm wondering if this was in my parents' record collection. 'Cause somebody asked about that, I think, in Yard of Questions a few episodes ago, and they had a ton of Fifth Dimension albums in there.
What's some Fifth Dimension hits?
Like Age of Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In. That was their big medley. But
didn't we do a dance to that in grade school?
We might have.
Oh, jeez.
It was, I don't know. There was a Grease song.
Was there a Grease? Yeah. Is this the record collection you're talking about that you didn't get?
Yeah, I wish I'd have grabbed those albums. They had probably 50 or 60 groovy 60s, early 70s albums, original releases in there. Wish I'd have grabbed those. That would have been nice.
Tell me about it now. Yeah. Oh, baby, baby, I'm wanting you. Satisfaction guaranteed. Now, anytime you feel uptight, I'm at your service morning, noon, and night.
Morning, noon, and night, huh?
Yeah, is that you on the bass, Andy?
That's a young Andy.
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore. It's over with. But yeah, back in the day. Woo! Who's his band? A bunch of killers, I'm sure.
I'm trying to look that up. I can't really find that information. But yeah,
that was a nice writing bass line.
Just the top studio people of the time.
Mm-hmm. You can kind of picture Tom Jones moving his hips to this song. There's a lot of space for him to dance.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In this recording, which live would be a delight. So since we don't have that visual aid, Tom, get up.
I do what you want me to, 'cause I'm a puppet just for you. But if you want to see me do my thing, then baby, pull my string. Oh!
I think she pulled it too hard. Oh! Look out.
Either that or her hands were cold. One of the two.
Apparently the lead guitarist was a guy named Big Jim Sullivan, who apparently gave lessons to Richie Blackmore.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Some British royalty here.
Yeah.
Okay. Tom, what do you think?
It's great.
I can't do anything unless you pull the string?
Yeah, that's what it was.
So it's almost like a Beetlejuice thing. It's basically saying I can do a lot, but until you activate me, nothing's happening. Tom, you excited for that new Beetlejuice?
Why'd you go with Beetlejuice instead of Candyman?
Because I never saw Candyman. I know that's the same thing, but I never saw it. I don't like scary stuff. I like Beetlejuice. That's my wheelhouse for... I don't want to say horror, but for like a Halloween type of movie.
Right.
That's it. That works for me.
I'm a bit excited for it. They're almost done filming it.
Yeah.
Filming what?
Beetlejuice 2, finally.
I didn't even know that was in the works.
It's happening.
Same cast and all?
Well, I think they have... I mean, it's Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, who else? I'm sure Jeffrey Jones is not welcome back.
Is Alec Baldwin going to shoot somebody on the set of this one?
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen again. Who else is in there, Tom?
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis back? She's got to be back, right? She's in there probably. I don't know that for sure, but I hope.
Were people clamoring for this sequel? Or
I think they were years ago, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, they've been talking about it for a while.
And I feel, I mean, maybe it's just me and the place I'm at in my life and my interest in entertainment waning. But don't you feel like movies aren't that big of a deal anymore?
I agree.
I think it's another example of you being outside of that demographic now.
Yeah.
It's like I'm aloof to it, so it doesn't register with me, but there's still people who are way into Hollywood and movies and stuff. That's something I can't relate to at all and haven't been able to for quite some time.
I feel like it's been cheapened by the streaming services, but maybe that's, again, it just doesn't feel like they're as big of a deal when, it's a movie and it's directly on Netflix or something.
It's not
like,
an event
yeah,
anymore.
It's kind of like, it seems subpar, but maybe it's not.
Well, that whole Barbie Oppenheimer thing was pretty major.
That was big. Yeah, that's true.
It might be turning the tide a little bit, but I think it also just goes back to the fact that is Hollywood really putting out any quality stuff? If it's not a Marvel movie, does anybody fucking pay attention to it?
Or if it's not a rehash or another sequel
there's just
or something.
nothing new and exciting coming out of Hollywood. But again, I'm out of that demographic. I'm just an old man yelling at clouds here, and Andy can relate to that.
We're right behind you.
Well, yeah,
get off my lawn, man.
But it's it's the circle of life. It's the natural progression of life. Once you get to a certain age, you're not supposed to like things
anymore.
or what's
just
in pop culture.
Things that are relevant, quote unquote, in pop culture. It's not.
It's not made for us.
Anything that's relevant is going to be in that 18 to 35 advertising demographic that's the most desirable.
Yeah.
Once you exit that, it's nothing in entertainment is for you.
That's true. You just go backwards and find things that you either used to like or something like what you like but you missed it.
And be glad that in this time you can do that. Everything's available.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe that I could actually sit here and say I'm happy that I pay $17 for a premium Spotify account a month or something for whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing how many things that I've missed that I didn't even realize it would just come up on a mix. I'm like, how did I miss those? How did I miss this band? And I'm just listening to them nonstop now.
Yeah, that's true. You can't take that for
you
granted.
It's great.
You have almost every recorded piece of music at your fingertips. I mean,
yeah,
I think it's worth every penny.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, there's going to be this argument that you're screwing over the artists. Well, first of all, artists have been screwed over since the beginning of time, especially in music.
Mm-hmm.
And not buying physical copies of their releases or the minuscule amount of money they get from streaming. By one person boycotting Spotify is not going to put even a remote dent into that. So, I mean, I'm fully converted to that. I mean, the only thing that held me back is because I was so fucking cheap. I wouldn't pop for a data plan, and I'm just like, the whole point of having that is so you can have it mobile, portable on your phone.
Yeah.
But if you don't have if you didn't have a data plan, it didn't make it worth it. But data has become like texting, where remember the old days where you had a text limit.
I think when it first came out, I think it was like 35 cents a text or something.
It's like a stamp.
Like, what?
Yeah. And now everything is unlimited, including data. So there's no reason not to do it. And it's just, there's literally virtually every recorded piece of music in history. Just punch it up on a whim, and you've got it. So, I mean, I'm fully on board with it. I'm same as Tom.
Mm-hmm. Nick, you're on board with it now too, aren't you? There was a while where you weren't. Nick was the last CD man around.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a CD for a little while.
Oh, you haven't?
Not for a little while. Well,
I can tell you this.
Last year, I might have gotten one or two.
Nick picks me up and brings me here every week, and we've been doing it here for about 2-3 years. And at first, Nick was a CD man, and then he was a hard drive man, and now he's off of his phone Spotify man. Yep. So, in that amount of time, Nick has changed.
I mean, it is a lot easier.
Yeah.
for sure.
It is, and don't get me wrong. I think we've all gotten at that point in life where there was a point where we got
Speak for yourself.
500, 600 CDs at a point. We all probably had them or whatever, and
Yeah.
I'll still buy a physical copy of something if I really like them and I really want it, but I'm not going to go out and buy 10 CDs a month. It's done.
For a penny?
Yeah. No.
Didn't do that?
Did you ever do that Columbia House thing?
I did it.
Yeah.
I did it once.
They sent, what did they do? They got mad at us because we did the wrong thing. We did,
I don't even know.
We did it wrong.
How did you do it wrong?
You're supposed they sent you a piece of paper every month or whatever, and it's going to say, hey, we're sending you this CD.
Right. You had
So
to
let
send-
us know,
That's
and we
right.
would never respond. The CD would come in, and we would mail it back.
Gotcha.
So they got upset with us, and we got to keep
Send
whatever.
it back.
We kept whatever they gave us, like on the front end of it, and then they just said, no, you're not
done with
you're
you?
not welcome. We're ending this right now.
Wow. Tossed out of
Wow.
a CD club.
That's the way to do it.
To actually appear on Columbia House's radar is impressive.
Oh, man.
It's quite an accomplishment by the Jones brothers.
It is.
And the Jones family household.
Yeah. You know, one more thought on movies before we continue. I forgot. It was like a Matt Damon type, or maybe actually Matt Damon, but some actor in that field, you know, in that age bracket and level of stardom, was talking about how the business of making movies has changed, where it's either an extremely low budget DIY movie, and that
Correct.
could be like an artful
Yeah.
film or something interesting and different,
Right.
or it's an investment that whoever the movie studio does not want to lose anything. Before it was like, you know, you invest a few million in all these movies and scatter it across, and a couple are going to lift the tide for the
Sure,
others.
yeah.
But that's not the thing anymore. It's just, we want $1 billion from this one movie, and that's it.
Yeah, no.
We're not
yeah.
playing that game anymore. So
Right.
you don't get, like, I'm sure the interesting scripts or ideas maybe exist on paper or on a hard drive somewhere, but they're just not being made because it's an investment more so than, you know,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
spreading it
I mean,
across
it's not,
smaller budgets.
it's not a recipe for sustained quality, but
No.
I get why they do it.
Yeah.
It's just similar with music. One of the things that people talk about a lot in the 60s and 70s is that record labels would develop an artist.
Yeah.
Like Tom Petty is an example. Like his first album or two didn't go anywhere, but they just felt confident in developing him that he would someday break through. Same with like Springsteen as well.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, they lined him up and with the right producers and songwriters, and then they both went through the roof. But you know, nowadays, you're either out of the gate a big time huge star, or you're nobody, or you're nothing. And
Yeah.
so yeah, there's no middle ground anymore in entertainment. It seems like movies or music.
It's either something as bad as this, Pot of Thunder, or Taylor Swift. There's no middle ground anymore.
No, that's I would say that's an accurate illustration. Just people going rogue and doing low budget stuff, or $1 billion artists. There is nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
Seems like.
I love you, 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 love you. You got the deep control. You're down deep in my soul. You anything that you want me to. I might even love you. Oh, I'm your puppet man.
He might even love you.
Just your puppet man.
Just threw that in at the end. I might even love you. I thought it was a given the whole time. Look at me. I'm a fool.
That's not bottom tier talent, Andy.
No,
you
it's
got
not.
it.
Yeah.
You should be dating Travis Kelce.
Is that who's the? Is that Taylor Swift?
I think that's the new
Really?
headline now.
Okay. I was gonna say, who's the
You
starlet
can't,
dating
you can't
him?
get away from it anymore.
Is he the one on the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm happy for those youngsters. I hope they make it.
They shouldn't have any. They shouldn't have any financial concerns,
No.
so they don't have that going. That strike against them out of the gate. So
They're not going to have to use coupons at Popeyes like someone in this room.
no, they're not. No.
Those the same.
Who should I be looking
Taking
at?
a shot at Tom, I think.
Yeah, Tom.
No, I haven't
you-
had Popeyes in
You
years.
bum. I had it last week, so there's your answer. For the first time in months at Popeyes, that shit takes like a half hour. That's got to be the worst.
Never-
That Popeyes and Griffith.
I
And
was
that dead strip mall.
just about to ask if they gotten their shit together,
No.
and I've got my answer.
Not even close. We haven't gone for a long time because of that. Several experiences in a row. It's the same. And they're out of half of the menu. They don't have any of the sauces that they're supposed to have. It's just a disaster.
Just close shop.
Everything
Get
else
out.
around it is closed. Well, not around, but on that corner, that whatever northeast corner, that whole
Yeah.
strip mall's dead. I say just plow it and start farming again because nothing's going to work there.
I think the Menards is getting put there.
All right, put the Menards there. Take it back.
I think they're moving that from
Gary
Ridge Road
or whatever
Yeah,
over the
I
ridge.
think they're
there.
supposed to be moving over to that spot.
Never mind. That'll probably work. Actually,
Yeah. Give me my 11% rebate on the complete Chico and the Man series. That's what I want.
That's where
Save your half-hour wait for a chicken sandwich that you don't have in stock.
Well,
that I don't want.
Maybe Popeyes will match the 11%. That'll get them going.
Hey, that'd be something. Rebate, a mail-in rebate from
For your,
Popeyes.
for your chicken.
God, it's expensive
Yeah,
enough.
I'm
It's-
sure that processing would go smoothly, just like their food operation would.
Yeah.
Their biscuits used to be great.
Oh, you know what?
And-
I wanted to be mad because I was mad with the experience, and I started eating the food, and I'm like, I'll be damned. It actually is really good. But it took a half hour to get the food from a drive-through where you're just sitting waiting for someone to walk it out and hoping that none of the
could
dirty bums walking by are going to rob you.
You can probably get through the Portillo's drive-through quicker than that.
Oh,
That's a-
absolutely. They've got that.
They've got it down to a
machine,
science.
man.
Really?
Yeah.
It moves.
It does move?
It
Oh,
does
yeah.
move. Same with Chick-fil-A. I mean, it's a huge line, but they run you through that thing.
Yeah.
It ain't Popeyes, let's put it that way.
No, I went to that Portillo's, but it was like the week it opened. That was over a half hour inside to get like 2 hot dog meals. But again, that was the week it opened.
It ain't like that anymore.
They got it. They got it down, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay.
they've got the they run a pretty tight ship over there with the outside people and the drive-through and whatnot.
Do you like when they say the little number and the little phrase when your order's ready? Where they'll be like, number 72, got a
yeah.
hot dog for you. They do all those rhymes.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that.
If-
That's at Portillo's?
Every time. If you go inside, they do it for every order. They've got rhymes
not
for
know
each
that.
number, whatever the last number is. You know.
Can you improvise if you work there?
I think so, and I think we should get you a part-time job for one shift until you're escorted out of the building.
Number 72, and Juan Epstein was a Puerto Rican Jew.
There you go.
See how long you last.
Wow.
And rattling off
Pot of Thunder on the scene.
non-sequiturs like that.
They would just turn the microphone off and take you out by the collar. Go home, please.
Clock out and get out.
Yeah. Buzz off.
Yeah, I didn't realize they did that. I don't think I've ever been in a no.
I've never noticed.
I went. We'd go in at the Portillo's across Kitty Corner from the Hard Rock, but that was like after our shift was over, late at night. I didn't hear any of that bullshit going
Maybe they
on.
didn't do that when they didn't. Once they started expanding more, they might have implemented that to make it like a cute little
sounds
business
like it.
thing.
I don't know.
Yeah. Ah, Portillo's.
Nick, are you a Portillo's fan?
Yeah.
What do you like, the hot dogs?
No.
What do you eat? They're fried artichokes. What do you get there?
The fried chicken sandwich.
Oh, okay, fried chicken. I didn't even know they had that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's right in your
Spicy.
wheelhouse.
I think they have a spicy one over there.
Are they doing the Nashville hot just like the rest of the world?
No,
Yet?
not that I'm aware of. Those.
I think that
places
trend
keep
is
popping
dead
up.
already.
No, new places are popping.
Have they
up.
closed yet?
The one did Chicken Shake. It's done.
Well, that
was what?
Was that the one in Munster?
Yeah, it was like 4 months.
that one right over by El Salto.
Yeah.
it's gone.
It's
All
toast.
That's where cars fly into buildings, though.
No, that's further down. This is by the park over
And by Kitaro.
Yeah.
You've been to
Oh, over
Kitaro.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
I keep
Order
thinking-
72 with the fried artichokes for the guy over there who looks like Tone Loc.
Everyone stands up. Not you. Not you.
Yeah, the other guy who looks like Tone Loc. You look like young MC. Get out of the way. I think I might go over there and apply for this.
I think you could do it.
Although that would constitute me leaving the house to work. I'm not down with that.
Well, like we said, it won't be a long shift, so
That's true.
we'll pay you for the rest of the day. We just want you to leave
Just
forever.
get out.
Yeah. Probably get you some time off. Get you paid for your severance.
As
and all
long
that
as long
shit.
as I get my free shift meal, that's all I care about.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we got business here. We got to vote. Sweet Surrender or Kick in the Crotch. Tom, you brought this song to us, so you vote first. Give it to us.
Sweet Surrender, of course.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
Tell us why, please.
It was a surprise, late addition to the. Hey, look out! Late addition to the contest here, and it
Okay.
ended up winning. I was a big fan of I'm going to call them the lovely ladies that were going back and forth with Mr. Jones. The musicians were top notch. It was he had a lot of different vocal inflections going on in the song too. So, and the lyrics were beautiful. So hopefully everybody thought the same.
Nick?
Sweet Surrender.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
Yeah, I thought I'd never heard this one. It's funny how deep the catalogs are for the popular singers back
Isn't
in this
it?
era, and how we were talking about this song was recorded in like '69. Then there was a hit in that year, and then another hit, same song in '70. Like something that doesn't happen obviously these days, unless closest you would come is probably it would be done on like American Idol or something like that. But as far as
Another prominent artist putting it out, that doesn't happen.
and getting onto the charts from numerous people, the same song within a few years of each other. It's pretty.
It's interesting that people didn't get sick of it. Imagine Smells Like Teen Spirit comes out, and then Soundgarden does it in '92, and then Alice in Chains does it in '93,
That's what you're talking about.
then
And that's
Stabbing
what-
Westward does it or something.
and then it dies. No, sorry, Stabbing Westward. They all listen to the show. Every one of those guys in the band. So.
well.
I mean, I know probably a lot of the listeners aren't familiar with the country, aspect of the scene, but it's popular in the country music
To do that
world
still?
to do that. Yeah, to
Really?
write
Even
write
within-
songs,
within-
record, and then they'll record it, and there's few versions by different people.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
in rapid fire fashion, like within a year of each other.
Within a year or two. Yeah.
No
And they'll
shit.
I did not know
And
that.
it's just not one that is like the main one. Do you get there's traction for
There's
different
been
ones?
traction for a couple that
Oh,
I can recall.
interesting.
I mean, I'm not fully,
Just the fact that it still happens.
engulfed
though.
in the country music scene, but I know of a few that have. So
If I hear a recording of a song from like the 90s, I think, oh, that's kind of soon. Isn't it? Like if you hear like Life is a Highway, you're like, oh, that's
That's too soon.
like what's
30 years.
What are they doing
or whatever,
coming out
probably
with
20.
a cover of that already?
I don't think it was probably more like 10 or 15 years between, right?
Well,
Was it?
when
Yeah.
that one came out, but
Yeah.
that's
I
one
don't
that
know what I'm
I
talking
remember when I heard it. I thought, oh, what already? There's a cover of this.
Yeah.
There's already a worse cover of this.
Yeah, a
Wow.
little less enthusiastic
Yeah.
cover. Yeah,
That sounds like a cover band doing it instead of
Rascal
You need-
Flatts.
a legitimate talent.
You need Tommy
Uh-huh.
Cochran
Yeah.
on the vocal.
Yeah, that is
the Rascal Flatts guy, the whiniest, nasaliest vocalist of all time.
It is a terrible version.
What's the other guy used to say that about? Bowling for Soup. Didn't you say that about them?
I think I more commented on the morbidly obese guitarist.
Okay.
Just you can't have that visual in your band.
All right.
But that country cover of Fast Car that just came out, it's like a huge hit. It's like Fast Car is already, 30 years old almost?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was an In Living Color parody of that song.
Right,
That's how old
exactly,
it is.
right.
SNL too.
Yeah.
Them too?
With Tim Meadows as Tracy Chapman.
Really? I don't remember that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're looking at almost 30 years old, that song. And that's a huge hit in the country charts. Crazy.
Who did it?
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs.
This is a good version too.
Yeah.
And I think it's given a little.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Tom.
Turn his mic off.
But it's also shed light on Tracy Chapman again, which
Is
is
that a good thing?
I think it's a good thing.
Did the world need that,
Of
or
course
was
it
the
did.
world asking for that?
Yeah, why not? Wow.
Shed light on Tracy Chapman. Answering the question that was never asked by anyone.
How active was she still, or is she
Who
still?
knows?
Hey, she could probably do festivals now if she wasn't.
Yeah, Lilith Fair, or who knows, but yeah, nobody
County Fair.
There's literally not a single person on the planet who wanted more light shed on Tracy Chapman.
Nick and I covered Fast Car about 10 years after that song came out, but it was combined with a burping contest.
Did you bring it? Did you shed any more light on the Tracy Chapman? Did you bring her back?
I think the wrong kind of light, actually.
Well,
put her away for 20 more
our
years.
Our favorite guys, the My Dick guys, covered it.
Oh, they did
I got
too,
a
huh?
fast dick, and that didn't shed any light on Tracy Chapman.
Yeah, these covers had the adverse effect.
Of course, she had that, and then she had that horrific "Give Me One Reason" song. It's like auditory
was that her too?
ambient.
Yeah,
that was her.
It's like she's tied with Norah Jones for who can put you to sleep the fastest with their music. It's just zero energy. Am I wrong? Norah Jones is fucking
just go to
auditory ambient.
I agree with that.
Sake.
As talented as she is, or however they want to say it, I can't get through 10 seconds of a song.
Yeah, I mean, what's the thinking behind that? Okay, there's a void in music for artists who have a zero energy coming out of their music. So sign this woman.
Yeah,
Andy, that's why you guys didn't make it. You had too much energy.
Yeah, we behaved like fools. That's what the problem was.
But it had it been it was a different time. Had it been the modern times, you have what you were describing earlier, the extremes: zero energy, off the chart energy.
That's true.
Nothing in between.
That's true.
You were ahead of your time.
It doesn't feel good to be in that position.
No, it doesn't. That's another indication of the fact that you're old as fuck now. It's like, yeah, I was ahead of my time. Now I'm nothing.
It's true. Yeah. People
It's
say
a tough
that
realization to come to, man.
People say that like it's a compliment. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not
it's
at
like
all.
I was nothing. I had zero success back in the day.
I flopped, and it's over.
And the notion that I wouldn't have flopped nowadays is probably bullshit too. In fact, not probably. It is bullshit.
Yeah, but that's probably better to just acknowledge that it's bullshit, because if you think that that's the case, that's like throwing away a lottery ticket or something. You know,
it's
where
delusions of grandeur.
You're going to torture yourself.
Yeah.
Right. If somebody told me if I had another chance to do it all over again, I'd probably do it worse.
Because you'd be
somehow,
like, if you could go back in time, like Back to the Future or something. Yeah, you would.
Yeah, somehow I'd do it worse.
You'd do it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. None of the knowledge you gained in the subsequent years you would have applied it properly. It would have been a failure again.
Could it get worse?
No. Well, could be at another Popeyes drive-through waiting half hour for your dinner.
Yeah.
And they don't have it. So
why don't you have my dinner? Come on.
Where's my dinner?
I was just yelling that out the window. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, Chris, you have to vote.
Sweet Surrender for me.
It's sweet
I mean, it's Tom Jones. You're gonna get Sweet Surrender from me, but the pull my string euphemism is obviously intriguing here. There's a lyric in here that kind of glossed over, but I like to revisit. Baby, baby, I'm warning you, satisfaction guaranteed. Do you typically warn someone that satisfaction is guaranteed? Are you saying that there's so much satisfaction coming your way that you might not be able to handle it, so I'm warning you about that?
Usually it's like I promise you, or, it's a selling point, not a warning.
Yeah, warning is more foreboding.
I don't know, maybe in 2023, but not 1971.
Yeah.
So
you got to warn people of satisfaction these days.
It was be careful around me because you're going to like it. You're going to like it more than you think, kind of thing. You're not ready for this amount of satisfaction.
You're not ready for this jelly.
Idea. Yeah, exactly.
And then, I like that I might even love you parting shot at the end. I wonder if that's in the first earlier two versions, or if that's a Tom Jones spin on it. He threw that in improvisationally.
Yeah, he may have.
Yeah, but I liked how he tossed that in. That's kind of a jarring line. So,
my turn to vote. I'm giving it a Sweet Surrender.
It's Sweet Surrender. Hell yes.
I enjoyed it. Don't have a great deal to say, but it's kind of like Nick, what he said, that you kind of don't realize how deep these catalogs go, where some song you never heard before by Tom Jones. Oh, that's a great one too. And another great one, and another great one. And they're all great. And it's hard to even put together a set of hits because they're all that good. It's just endless. But guess where we found ourselves? Do you know, Tom?
Bowling alley?
Yep.
All right, Hammond.
Or the Parthenon?
I got a question for you.
Paul Stanley loves bowling. I don't know if he still does. Remember, wasn't that a thing for a while? He was into bowling.
Was he?
Really?
Yeah, it was like, I like
That's
to
probably
go
duck
bowling.
pin bowling.
Is that an insult?
Sure.
So duck pin bowling, that's like the thing with like a skee ball sized ball, right?
The
and
smaller pins.
And they don't oil the lanes. There's no respect for the lanes. It's just it's like a yard game.
I'm not too familiar with it,
Like
but I know you get
Kind
three
of.
shots instead of two. So
Yeah, that's like when Nick and I played the worst show in the history of live music because of us, not because of anyone outside of our group. It was a duck pin bowling alley, and there's pictures of me shirtless in the pins, rolling around with one shoe on. Had too many. I was overserved.
That was a venue here in the region?
It was Indianapolis.
Oh, okay. Woo! Oh, I've heard stories about that gig. That was the duck pin bowling alley?
We opened for Foxy Shazam, who went on to bigger and better things, but we did not.
too many steel reserves.
Too many tequilas, I guess. I don't know what kind it was, but whoo, never again, Tom.
Not my spirit of choice.
Still drunk. 18 years later.
Are you still here?
Still drunk. Didn't die. Brain damage, probably, is what it is. You don't like tequila?
Nah, not a big fan.
So if you go somewhere and you get like a gentleman's cocktail, you're not picking one with tequila.
No.
What are you going with? Like a whiskey? Or
I
like
usually go like an old fashioned.
You're a gentleman.
Yeah.
You are a gentleman. Everyone knew it. I would go with rum.
Rum's good. I'll do a gin and tonic too.
Because I'm not a gentleman.
Just like Draymond at your place.
Yeah,
It's
there you
gin
go.
and tonic.
Mm-hmm. You know, David Draymond drank gin and tonics in here. That'll be $5.50.
That's a deal.
Well, that was back in the day.
Woo.
David Draymond. Ooh.
Easy.
Ooh. Cool. Is he here today? Because if he is, I will headbutt him. That's probably what I said. I was drunk then, too.
It's being generous.
Oh my God. There's a theme here of those days. All right.
All right.
What do you think, Tom? Is your vote in?
My vote is in.
Nick and Chris, votes in?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking. Okay, my vote's in.
Wow.
What's the order?
Tom. And then some other guys. How about Tom, Nick, Chris, Andy? Same as the voting. We'll just go around in the same circle again.
We good?
Yep, so.
Rock.
And
I'm going to say no boner, believe it or not.
I didn't even know that was a possibility, but...
Thank you, because I knew he was going to shoot it down, because he shoots all my songs down.
What are you talking?
You know what I'm talking about.
You hurt me. Cut me deep. How could you say that about me? No boner, Chris. What happened?
Maybe I'm influenced by the reactions of people to the previous three selections, but yeah, it was not the extreme horniness of Love Bomb or Love Machine. Was it Love Bomb last
Sex
year?
Bomb?
Sex Bomb and Love Machine. I mean, I think those were definitely next level on the horniness meter.
Oh, and then the year before there was Dick Explosion. That was good.
Yeah, there was that. But
or Sperm Factory the year before that.
Yeah, and pulling a string and things of that nature just aren't on that level. So I had to go no boner on that one. Possibly influenced by the reactions of our listeners to the previous three selections. Not a slam against Tom Jones, obviously. He's a god among human beings and a giant of entertainment. But in terms of the theme of this month, I think that was the right vote.
Well, if you disagree with us, we're sorry.
That's just the fucking way it is.
So there you have it. Hope you're not hurt by this week's voting. I think Tom's hurt.
I'm okay.
You gonna make
I'm okay.
it?
I mean, I could have easily selected 15 or 20 songs that were obviously, horny as hell. But I was actually surprised once I found out that this song was charted. I thought maybe one of you guys would have heard it.
Yeah, definitely am not. Nick, never heard it?
No.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Now I'm intrigued. I'm going to go seek out the Fifth Dimension version. I really wanted to find out if that "It Might Even Love You" line is in the other versions. That's what I'm going to go looking for tomorrow.
Well, we rubber stamped it. It's time for rhythmic slap, 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 slap,
Wait,
slapping.
you didn't anchor it?
Yeah, I did.
He did.
I did.
How did I miss that? How
You
did
missed
I
it
miss
two
that
times in a row.
Two
I
times in a
don't know.
row.
You did miss it last week, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it.
How? I mean, even when I'm running my mouth, I should be able to be hearing that in the background. I don't get it.
I did
Anyway.
it. All right, so here we are. Last week's clue. Nick, did you get any guesses on this?
I got a bullseye from one person.
So you're giving away
You're giving away a car.
Yeah.
Nick's giving away an NFT of a car, is what I heard.
Possibly a golf cart, too, to circumvent certain financial constraints. But somebody guessed it right, huh?
Yep, on the nose.
Well, okay, well, let's hear the clue again. So someone guessed it right for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's hear the answer.
Locomotive off the No Remorse album.
So somebody got it right.
Guessed correctly by Overkyle Art.
Really?
Yes.
So it's
On
so
the
he
nose.
wins.
He wins. He won. That's the last round. We have a winner.
So that's the end of Rhythmic Slap.
We finally got a winner.
All right.
We don't have another car.
Interesting. Yeah, we definitely don't have that.
So the car's gone.
It's gone.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, congratulations
Gotta walk home
to
now.
Kyle. I hope you enjoy your car. And I hope you enjoy the fact that you've ended everybody's favorite segment forever and carry that guilt with you for the rest of your life. Let's take a commercial break. I need a moment to collect myself.
I don't get yards of questions. Motherfucker, I give them! Swing away.
Yes, Chief.
Tom, you ready for Yardo questions?
I'm ready.
We're going to do it.
This is the worst.
The worst?
It's the worst.
What is? This part of the show?
Yeah.
You hate it?
No, just to start a fight with Nick.
Oh. Okay. You guys going to get into it?
The worst?
Because it's your favorite segment.
No, the commercial's my favorite part.
Oh.
Right before it.
Nick loves the commercials.
That's what that's what he means every week.
Nick loves that they used to pay more and that they don't anymore. That's Nick's favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
That there are more commercials and we get less simultaneously than we used to. Podcasting.
And we don't comment on the commercials anymore. That was the best part of the show.
Yeah, well, we're not allowed.
Yeah, can't do it anymore.
We can do whatever we want. It was a
were-
suggestion from a friend.
I mean, it would really be a commercial about University of Phoenix, but you wouldn't know, and you'd be like, oh, that was a great Popeyes commercial. Let's go get some chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That was
But we were just...
that was the most fun I had all week.
Okay. Yardo Questions time. This week's Yardo Questions comes to us from our friend, Tony Griggs.
All right, cool.
Hi, Tony.
In lieu of doing a Rush song, we will answer his yard of questions.
Good evening, gentlemen. Been a bit since I submitted 3 things for you guys to ponder. I'm guessing what his voice sounds like. Getting harder and harder to submit questions that have not been discussed already. Here's my attempt at some original material. Question 1. Lots of bands lose important original members and have replacements that can cause them to sink or flourish. Name a band that you think benefited the most having a new member come into the band.
What was the first part of that question again?
Saying bands lose key members.
Yeah.
So, what's a case where it was for the better? The replacement member improved the band versus taking away.
I mean, I'll just say the obvious, and since it's Tony Griggs contributing, I mean, Neil Peart replacing John Rutsey in in Rush has got to be the most no-brainer answer to this question ever. I mean, without Peart and the band, they would have, the first album got some traction, but they wouldn't have become what they became. The virtuoso drummer who brought in drum nerds and also the lyricist of the band who composed 2112 and all their iconic material and sort of steered them down that prog direction. They wouldn't have done anything without him joining the band after the first album.
Nick, Tom?
I mean, there are 2 obvious answers that I'm identifying for both of you guys. I'll be shocked if you don't say them. I mean, they're obvious.
Well, I think you could go with an obvious one, in my world, Phil Collin replacing Pete Willis.
Exactly, that's one. Yes, that's it.
That's definitely one. They probably wouldn't have gone down the track that they did if they didn't get Phil Collin in at the time. I'm not saying that Pete Willis wasn't a terrible guitar player, but they never would have blown up like they did without Phil Collins.
Right, and visually he wasn't, he
was taller than 5'1".
Yeah, and
had some looks.
And
He had that glam look too. He brought that to the band. So
who? Phil?
Phil.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Phil.
Yeah, but Pete was just a little short guy with just. And he had the heart of the rocker. Him and Steve Clark did, but yeah, when that's a huge one. I think people. He's one of those guys that you think is maybe a bit player in the band, but that was a pivotal personnel change that propelled them to superstardom. And yes, it was one of the two guitarists. So, Nick, what do you got?
Let's see. I guess the easy answer is Genesis. The whole Phil Collins taking over, because they were pretty successful up to that point, but then once he got up front, and then they carried over into the 80s, that's when they got enormous.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's not the one I had in mind for you, but that makes sense. It's a good answer.
And I was also going to say, to perhaps a controversial degree, I'm going to say Brian Johnson getting into AC/DC under unfortunate circumstances, but you really can't argue with the fact that they produced the top-selling hard rock album of all time.
Yeah,
right after he came in, and I think his voice is more accessible than Bon Scott's was. Bon Scott had more of like and it wasn't as wide a frequency range that he was putting out as Brian Johnson, I would say. Not as much presence in his voice. Mm-hmm. So I would say they were heading in that direction. It just in the series of events that happened.
It is amazing though that changed. They didn't skip a beat.
No, and
it's not like they were replacing somebody because they wanted to. No, it was their choice. Like, you're out, Brian Johnson's in. It was amazing how they just propelled
and from a perspective of me, who was alive back then. Well, you guys were all alive back then,
right?
But was old enough to be cognizant of what was going on. The death of Bon Scott was on par with the death of John Bonham. Zeppelin with John Bonham just stopped it. They're like, there's no way we can continue with anybody else doing it. That was the feeling about AC/DC. It's like, there's no way they can carry on with somebody else. And a year later, less than a year later, they came with Back in Black that just turned the rock world upside down. Nobody could believe that they recovered from that tragedy even better, and with an album that was the best thing that they'd ever done. I mean, some people, purists, point to Powerage and whatnot, but in terms of what they came back from to put out Back in Black is just straight up remarkable.
Give it to the Australians.
Yeah. Well, the one I was going to say is Dickinson replacing Di'Anno and Iron Maiden. I mean, that's another obvious one. They do not become the worldwide sensation that they became without Dickinson as the front man.
In the chat, we have Dickinson, Mike Patton, Joey Belladonna, Marty Friedman, Eric Carr, Phil Collins, Phil Anselmo, Deep Purple bringing in Gillan and Glover.
Yeah, those are all good ones.
Steve Perry, Richie Faulkner, huh?
I don't know about all that. I think that's a little... I mean, Faulkner's great, but it's not like Priest has eclipsed what they were in the late 70s, early 80s. That's just not true.
Can we speculate and say, or was it too soon for Hammett for Mustaine, or is that's just way too soon? There's no established Metallica.
Yeah, it's hard to
really
know that they wouldn't have been as successful with Mustaine.
Yeah.
For Shanti, that's interesting. It's true.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, that's a really good one.
And then Navarro, and then for Shanti again.
And then
And then Klinghoffer, and then Frusciante again.
Yep. Question 2. The 80s were definitely the MTV era in music, and nobody benefited more than the hair bands. Name a band that you believe would have been the most successful minus the visual aids that propelled them to stardom. So,
just based on...
Just based straight up on the music?
I guess so, right? So of those bands of the time, if we could just hear them and not see them, who would have been it?
Well, I'm going to go back to what we were talking about in the pre-show live stream, and I'm going to say Dokken. I think sonically, there was never... I mean, a couple of their earlier albums, the production wasn't great, but sonically, you could tell they were a tight band with an incredible guitarist. But visually, Don Dokken was far from like the super attractive, compelling frontman. I mean, you watch that guy in the videos, there was nothing special about him, and in fact, you could pinpoint the fact that he was significantly older than anybody else. He was just like this old guy fronting a hair metal band, and so I don't think they ever got any favors visually. I think it was their popularity was all based strictly on the sonics of the band and the songs, and particularly the guitar playing.
What do you guys think? Nick?
I know some people say this is not a hair band, but I think Cinderella. I don't think they needed the visual. They had they had some gimmicks in the videos, like they had the two twin girls that were walking around together and stuff, like the kind of mascots almost of their videos. But I don't think they really needed it. A lot of bands, like, really, it seemed like as good musically as Winger was, they relied so heavily on the fact that Kip Winger is this great-looking, athletic guy.
Yeah, doing ballerina moves and twirls.
Even like Motley Crue or Poison, the videos were so huge. I don't know that Cinderella really needed to have huge videos.
See, I think I might have been answering this the wrong question, because my answer was going to be Winger.
Oh, okay.
Because they did rely on that, but they didn't need to, because they're musically they were very good and very underrated.
Yeah.
So I didn't think they needed that the Kip Winger, look to it. If I'm answering the question right.
Yeah, no,
that's a good answer.
I think you are. I just think that Kip Winger was like, they really pushed.
Oh, they absolutely did.
His attractiveness.
Oh, sure.
Like that was entirely what the videos were.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just a component of it. It was all that it was.
Right, but I mean, the drummer was from the Dixie Dregs, one of the most highly regarded jazz rock fusion bands of the 70s, and Reb Beach, world-class guitar player. I mean, and Kip Winger had played with Alice Cooper, known for his musicianship. I mean, these guys were great musicians. Cinderella is a great answer, because those were. I remember that was the first band where the guys would swing their guitars around their necks. Remember they did that move?
Yeah, that was Nick.
I did. Yeah, that once.
And also the Eric Brittingham, the bass player, was like laughed at because he had like the biggest hair of anybody in the hair bands, to the point where they called it like a Christmas tree or a fireworks. Burst of fireworks going off. It was like a mile high, then came straight down, and visually they brought on a lot of mockery, but sonically the songs are just pure rock and roll. So yeah, those were both great answers from you guys, I think.
All right, question 3. So many bands in the hard rock and metal world have great guitar duos. Which great guitar duo would be your favorite? Thanks, guys, for all the years of entertainment and always being super cool to your fans. Woo! Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Cheers, fellows. Cheers to you, buddy. Thank you for this.
Tom, is that another obvious one for you?
Yeah, it is. It's Steve Clark and Phil Collin, and we'll just leave it there. You guys can answer. We can hit on it again if we want, but their chemistry was unbelievable, especially live. Like they didn't need to look at each other to know what they were doing. They pop solo. They interchanged solos between each other. Yeah, it's an obvious answer, but that's my answer.
I remember reading in Rudy Sarzo's book that when Def Leppard was opening for Ozzy on the, I think it must have been Diary of a Madman tour, that Randy Rhoads, after the show, was like walking down the hallway backstage, and he heard, it was after the show, he heard a guitar, and he went and looked, and it was Phil Collin. He was practicing after the show, and Randy Rhoads, I guess, according to Rudy Sarzo, made a comment like, with the way that guy is, his work ethic and his dedication, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Phil Collin didn't come into the band till '83, right?
Or was it '82?
It was.
I mean, Pyromania came out in '83.
Pyromania is '83, so you probably want to say '83. Because that was late '83.
I thought there was a story. Well, did he come in before it though?
He did,
or maybe,
but not that long.
Are you sure?
Or was he in Girl at that point? Did Girl open for Ozzy?
That's possible.
It might have been. It might have been that Girl open.
Are you sure he was referring to Phil Collin and not Steve Clark?
No, I'm pretty sure it was Phil Collin. So it might have been that Girl was opening for them, and it was before he was in.
That's
so I might have the timeline a little messed up there, but I'm pretty sure
that'd be an even better story.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that was it then. Does it have to?
But Def Leppard did open for Ozzy at a point.
They did, but I think Girl did also.
Yeah, I think probably '80. I would say on their one of their first or second U.S. tours. So that was probably either On Through the Night or High and Dry.
Yeah, so it must have been. Yeah, it was before. Obviously, it was a year before, but.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that was the story though, that he heard Phil Collin practicing and was impressed by his dedication.
Yeah, their chemistry was unbelievable, and that's all I got.
So is it within the confines of hair metal still? Is that what the question is?
No,
not necessarily.
It's that hard rock and metal.
Okay.
Leon and who?
Didn't need anybody else. I'm gonna say Mustaine and Friedman.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
because when they did one of the coolest things I ever saw in a live show is at the Aragon. Man, I don't. It must have been Cryptic Writings tour, maybe. I forget exactly.
If that's the one we went to, then that's the one we went to. I didn't go to anything before Cryptic Writings.
I think I did, and I don't remember if it was this show or not. I might have gone Euthanasia tour. I don't remember exactly, but it was around that period. And Mustaine was soloing the center stage with the spotlight on him, and really, really shreddy, solo-y kind of a thing. Suddenly threw both of his hands up. Seamlessly, the solo continued. Friedman walked out, picked it up, and they had it coordinated the exact same moment where Mustaine was going to stop, and Friedman picked it up, and it was you couldn't tell that anything stopped. You thought you could have swore it was just a continuous thing going on instead of one guy stopping and the other guy picking it up. That was impressive.
Did Mustaine stop because I threw my flannel at him?
Did it hit him?
It ended up on his mic stand.
Was he mad?
No.
Did he call you a waste of skin and life?
No.
He said thanks, Tom.
Did he start wearing it? There was a flannel period of Mustaine.
But during that era, like Rust in Peace and then Countdown and Euthanasia, there's really good complementary stuff going on between the two guitars.
Yeah, mine's obvious. It's going to be Robertson and Gorham of Thin Lizzy. I mean, Brian Robertson is my favorite rock guitarist ever, so that makes it easy. But again, the chemistry those two had and the quality of material the band was putting out when those when that lineup was together was untouchable. And I'll say honorable mention was the 4-piece version of Motorhead with Phil Campbell and Wurzel. They had a nice interplay going on for that. They probably played together 5 albums, I want to say. But they put out some great stuff during that period.
What years was that?
It had to have been about 86 through 93, something like that.
Okay.
I would say started with Orgasmatron and then went through like March or Die or Bastards or something like that, but good stuff going on with the 4-piece version of Motorhead, which most people perceive them as the 3-piece with either Fast Eddie or just Phil Campbell, but that middle period where they had 2 guitarists going on, they put out a lot of good stuff during that time.
In the chat, I see Michael Sweet and Oz Fox.
Yeah, get out.
How about Eddie Van Halen and Eddie Van Halen?
Well, Eddie Van Halen and Sammy Hagar, because Sammy Hagar would strap on the guitar. Roth did too for Ice Cream Man and stuff like that, but not the same as Sammy. But I don't think that qualifies.
All right, well, hey, thank you to Tony for his Yardo questions. Thank you to Tom over my shoulder, being a gentleman probably. Can't tell. Oh, look out. Thank you for bringing the song today, and we hope we see you soon. Thank you to everybody who made this September another runaway success. I'm not going to read any comments that say otherwise. I heard there aren't any, so unanimous decision. And we will be back next week with what?
Spooktober.
All right. Well, and it's your pick first, Chris? Is that right?
Yes, it is. I'm going to get it. We're going to come out of the gate hot for Spooktober.
Okay. Something to look forward to. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is September.